this wasn't supposed to happen. It's a daydream they can really believe in, and only the FA Cup can make such wishes come true. The Oxbridge Blue Quarters of Wycombe Wanderers in the FA Cup semi-finals. "13 years ago, when Laurie Sanchez and his assistant Terry Gibson contributed generously to FA Cup folklore at Liverpool's expense, Vinnie Jones conducted some high-octane hijinks in the Wembley tunnel in a bid to unsettle the Liverpool players, but it all looked pretty respectful and friendly in there as the players came out. And Wycombe have two very special mascots today. 16-month-old Maxwell is the son of midfield player Steve Brown. He survived 20 operations to correct a stomach condition. He spent much of his young life in hospital, but he's on the mend. And 5-year-old Jack is the son of manager Laurie Sanchez, whose wife Heather died tragically young 2 years ago. Laurie leaves his desk at Wycombe at 3 o'clock every day to collect Jack from school, whatever. There's a special bond between father and son, and those two young boys are putting the fantasy of FA Cup football in proper perspective today. Well, let's take a final check on the lineups. Liverpool's 11 assembled at a cost of £30 million. A Wycombe team costing just £275,000. Goalkeeper Martin Taylor used to be a pit-faced coal miner. In front of him, a back three of Jamie Bates, who scored the first goal of the cup run back in November. Jason Cousins, a former bailiff. And alongside him, Paul McCarthy, the Irishman who scored 5 times in this season's FA Cup. Surprise at right wing back, 19-year-old Ben Townsend, the youngest man in the semi. Chris Vinnigam, an ex-England under-21 internationals on the left. Solid unit of 3 in midfield. Danny Bowman just establishing himself this season. Michael Simpson, ex-Notts County, the best passer in the team. And Steve Brown, the man suspended after his headline red card at Leicester, but clear to play now. Up front, Wycombe's leading goalscorer Andy Rammell was always going to play, but Keith Ryan has got the nod over Guy Whittingham and Roy Isando. Worth recording that Wycombe have 4 or 5 key players out injured. Laurie Sanchez does prefer 4-4-2, but he's had to tailor his formation to the men available to him during the last couple of months. The average age of that Wycombe team is over 32. Liverpool are much younger and much better known. No rotation in defence. Sander Westerveld is playing again. Marcus Babbel, who's missed only 3 games all season at right back. Stefan Honcho missed the quarter-final, but he's on duty today. Honcho and Sami Hupia are an item at centre-back. Jamie Carragher continues to grow into the left-back role. There are changes in midfield, though. Nick Barmby, twice to beat an FA Cup semi-finalist with Spurs, is on the right. Dietmar Hamann, a beaten FA Cup finalist with Newcastle, plays alongside Gary McAllister in his very first FA Cup semi. And then on the left, maybe a surprise, Christian Ziege is back in favour. Up front, Michael Owen, after 75 minutes alone in the Nou Camp on Thursday, and the man who replaced him against Barcelona, the only survivor of the '96 Cup final, Robbie Fowler. 9 of those 11 played against Barcelona 60-odd hours ago. McAllister and Fowler as substitutes, but Barmby and Ziege are the only truly fresh legs. Mind you, Gerrard, Heskey and co are in reserve. Referee today has an FA Cup final service. He's Paul Durkin. Liverpool have had their huddle, and now Wycombe Wanderers are replicating it with a huddle of their own, as if they needed to psych themselves up for this particular occasion. A return to a traditional FA Cup semi-final venue. Liverpool's 21st semi-final at Villa Park. His first. Well, there's no shortage of competition for these sports headlines this weekend, but if Wycombe Wanderers come even close to beating Liverpool here, then Red Marauder, Nassim Hamed, Johnny Wilkinson, Tiger Woods, they're all going to be bumped off tomorrow's back pages this will be the story. Is it a story they can make come true, Ron Atkinson?
If they work hard and they have a fair bit of luck, yes, but it's going to be very difficult for them today.
Header forward by Bates, seized upon by McAllister. Ziege back to Carragher. Villa Park was played on yesterday, a Premiership fixture between Aston Villa and West Ham, but it's looking in reasonable condition. What a week for Son of Westerveld, unbeaten by the forwards of Manchester United and Barcelona. Now all he's got to do is keep out Andy Rammell and Keith Ryan and co.
I think you asked me then about Wycombe, Clyde. I think it's so important the first 20 minutes. We always say that in football matches, but in this one they daren't give Liverpool any sort of advantage.
Robbie Fowler finding some space. Jason Cousins going out there with him. Carragher. Harman. Now Barmby. Ushering Marcus Barber forward. Was this one on an overlapping run? Instead it's Barmby now into the path of Gary McAllister. Cut back towards Michael Owen. Turned away by Cousins on the post. This is Ziege. Carragher. Good work though by Ryan tackling back. Wycombe Wanderers there with a break with Bowman up towards Rammell. Outnumbered.
I think we saw a glimpse there of what Liverpool might work at an awful lot. Trying to get two men wide against the solo defenders on the side of the Wycombe defence. With Wycombe being forced to play wing backs, I think you'll see Liverpool doubling up on them a lot as an attacking play.
Wycombe share one thing with Barcelona. They're not in the best of form. Since reaching the quarter-finals, they've lost 6 of the 9 league games they've played and won only 1. Mind you, the same problem befell Chesterfield when they reached the semi-finals 4 years ago, and yet they so nearly won. It's more fact than cliche to talk about throwing the form book out of the window, because Liverpool and Wycombe have no form. They've never previously met. Carragher. Harman. McAllister. Kupia. Late challenge there by Rammell. Fowler's managed to turn it out to Ziege, and Fowler's got in behind Wycombe, and he has support from Michael Owen here. Taylor had to be quickly out, rode his luck a little bit, but Brown was there to shepherd the ball back into his goalkeeper's path. Yeah, great decision making there from Taylor.
He's the hero against Wimbledon in one of the previous rounds, and there he made a great, brave decision to come early. Otherwise, Michael Owen would have been opening the account.
Owen here has had 2 sights of goal already. The game's not 3 minutes old. They're undone there though, Ron.
Yeah, and I think they're going to look for that wide area. They're looking for offside. It might just have been offside. Then the ball was delayed there. No decision, and he's just absolutely racing into that. Michael Owen sees only the goal. Full marks for the kidding goal. That was a great, brave, decisive save.
Brown losing out to Barmby. This is Bates. Vinicum making a break down the left-hand side, but Barber's much taller than Chris Vinicum here. Gets it into McCarthy, has to clear.
Yeah, I was talking to Terry Gibson, the Wycombe coach, before the game, and he was on about how important it was, A, that they don't concede, and B, I said, well, you want Vinicum, who's got a great left foot, to keep bombing on. He said, no, we want him to sit there safe.
Here is Vinicum bombing on.
Can't tell these players anything, can you? But I could see that is where Liverpool have a decided advantage.
There is Terry Gibson, who was in that Wimbledon Cup winning team with Laurie Sanchez. Vinicum was a little late there on Harman.
This is going to be an outball most of the match, Babel. He's going to have plenty of space. He's going to stay wide, and they can keep feeding the ball out to him.
Fowler looking to feed Barmby, but he checked his run. A very good kicker of the ball with either foot. He's found Ryan here. Coleman unable to make any progress. Marcus Barber.
Yeah, from Wycombe's point of view, I know it's hard. They're going to have to do a lot of ball chasing, that's for sure, because Liverpool do like to pop the ball around. But I think it's vitally important they stay together, stay compact, and let Liverpool have plenty of possession along their back line.
Played forward by Ziege, but it's a Liverpool team who certainly started confidently and purposefully after their wagons in the circle performance in the new camp. A different emphasis to this match altogether. Honcho's header, controlled by Simpson. It's a good use of the ball into the path of the teenager Ben Townsend. Cleared by Hoopier. Cleared accurately into the path of Fowler. Hooked on towards Owen between defenders. Cousins coming across, just holds Owen up. Support from Barmby. Bates it is who clears. This is Michael Simpson. Caught in possession by Christian Ziege.
Yeah, he's desperate for one of the front players to make his show there.
Ryan to Ramel. Ryan's got away from Hooper and has gone for the chip here, and he was aware that Sonder Westerveld was 4 or 5 paces off his line. Audacious effort by Keith Ryan.
Very, very unlucky. Some smart, quick feet there, and Ryan, the skipper, sees Westerveld off his line and tries to do what Brian Hughes almost did to him in the League Cup final.
Been 1 or 2 almost on Liverpool's cup runs so far this season. Flag is up against Owen, but so far they have survived in all 3.
Yeah, he's up.
Certainly since reaching their last FA Cup final 5 seasons ago, they've not really had a run in this competition, Liverpool. They won only 3 ties in 4 years, made it to the semis of the league and the Cup Winners' Cup. But what about this season? Their 22nd cup tie of the season, and so far nobody, not Roma, not Leeds, not Chelsea, nobody has been able to stop them. Header away by Vinicum. Intercepted well there, but the ball just ran away from Chris Vinicum, who was a teammate of Ali McCoy's for a spell at Rangers. Going into the path of Barmby. Vinicum it was who came between them. He didn't play in any major Scottish Cup occasions during that 5-year spell that he had north of the border, but he did play alongside the likes of Wilkins and Butcher and McCoist, and in his earlier days actually captained the England under-21 side of Alan Shearer and Steve McManaman. He did have a good pedigree, the man on the ball here, Chris Vinicum, as a younger player. Ramel kept that in, no he hasn't. Wasn't much in it by the look on his face. Header on by Owen, very brave under considerable pressure from McCarthy, which has been penalised in fact. It's a no-nonsense back 3, all experienced campaigners. And Fowler will know they've been in a match, that's for sure.
It's going to be interesting how they sort it out when one of the Liverpool strikers drops deep. At the moment it's Owen doing the thing he sometimes does for England, and that's dropping the little hole. But earlier on Fowler did it, not one of the 3 central defenders pushed in. He got good possession.
Both McCarthy and Bates are going forward here. One area where Wycombe have been perpetually dangerous during this cup run is from set pieces. McCarthy scored 5 times in the cup run, only Sylvain Wiltor has scored more goals in the competition this season. Jason Cousins takes the free kick. It's in towards Bates, but it's dealt with by Hoopier. Not exactly short of inches at the back, Liverpool.
No, just thinking that that's an area where you look at Hoopier and Honcho, they can do those, what you call the bread and butter, the basics, the ugly stuff in the game. Head it, kick it, scramble it if they have to.
Steve Brown. Hoopier up above Ramble, out as far as Simpson. Fed into the path of Townsend. Early cross towards Ryan.
Nice build-up. Smart ball out from Simpson. Good early ball in from Townsend, and unfortunately, they just couldn't get Ryan on the end of it.
Ball was clear because Barbel in the foreground was just clipped by Ryan and fell rather awkwardly.
Actually, good defending that, you know. That's the little lesson there. Babel at least stayed in and made sure that Ryan couldn't get at the ball cleanly.
Well, both the Liverpool fullbacks have experience at centre-back. It's a big team when you look at Harman and McAllister in midfield. Ziegler's best part of 6 feet. Ziegler it is breaking forward here, but well dealt with by Jason Cousins, as one of the survivors from Wycombe Wanderers non-league days. He used to be a driver for a bailiff's company in West London. He's got a story or two to tell. Ramel. Townsend just seen off by McAllister.
The one I read this morning about him, I tell you what, I don't think Michael Owen would be such a threat. Not about somebody held him up with a gun, didn't they, one day or something?
That's right. Somebody who didn't want to pay. Townsend takes the throw. Header away by Carragher. This is Simpson. Now Ryan. By Townsend, turned away by Harman, driven in by Ryan, cleared by Hoopier. Carthy trying to lean over Owen and then just wrestling into the ground. Play goes over as Liverpool have it now. A free kick, Cousins on Fowler. They are quite literally a handful for these second division defenders. Have scored early goals in the last 2 rounds against Manchester City and Tranmere. They've gone 2 up in both of those games, Liverpool, within half an hour.
This is where I think Wycombe have got to be patient. They mustn't let them play through them. If they play across them, fine, they can keep their shape and keep bodies blocking up the spaces. So when they get the chance to play through them, they'll have the problem.
Patience has been a byword at Anfield for some time, and they are just quietly, steadily trying to pick their opponents off.
Yeah, I mean, if Wycombe thought for a minute, and I know it's the old theory that when you're the underdogs, you go at them in the hustle and hunt. But if they went out against Liverpool and tried to hustle and hunt them, I mean, they'd just be committing suicide virtually. They've got to try and frustrate, try and annoy, and try and get Liverpool a little bit upset.
Ziegler hooked in towards Barnby. Now Barbel. McAllister's made a break into the box here. Into the path of Owen. Through the legs of McCarthy. Still Michael Owen rolling across despite the attentions to play, but couldn't thread the ball beyond Martin Taylor. Looking bright and lively again, Michael Owen, after that pretty solitary, striking role that he did for Liverpool on Thursday night.
Yeah, some good work by McAllister. Good link-up. Got Michael Owen in. Once again, they've ridden the luck a little bit, Wycombe there. There's been no end product from Liverpool, and you just wonder.
He has started 6 of the last 7 matches for Liverpool now, Owen, and a couple of England internationals thrown in the mix there. He's getting regular football for the first time in a while. There is a flag against Keith Ryan.
It's very tight, this. Very, very tight. Thought he might have got the sympathy vote there a little bit, Ryan. Tell you who has looked very comfortable for Wycombe. Simpson certainly looked very comfortable, hasn't he, in the middle of the field?
Yeah, it's a nice footballer.
I think he's enjoying this, you know. fitted his skills against McAllister and Hammer. He knows he's not going to get really crunched, but he also knows that he's going to play against players who've got vast experience and great quality.
Barnby with a little flick. Picked off by Bates. Hooked up towards Ryan. Ryan as Simpson. Owens on the run. Bates though heads away. Brown and Bullman. Little experience on that right-hand side. Wycombe. This is Bowman's first season really established in the team, and then Townsend alongside him is the 19-year-old. Dealt with by Townsend. Simpson. Coleman dispossessed. Harman to Fowler.
Well, that's sometimes his forte, isn't it? Turning and hitting early and not expected, but I think he was asking an awful lot then. It's important that they don't back off Fowler because he doesn't need a second invitation.
Nervous moment for Townsend. Steve Brown. Keith Ryan. Brown driving the ball forward. Brown will give chase. Carragher knocks the ball out of play. I think aware that Liverpool have an injury problem with Stephen Onshow down.
Yeah, Brown went very strong with it. The ball broke between them, and Brown was very strong with it.
Where do you think he caught him, Rob?
He caught him afterwards. Let's put it like that.
Onshow is certainly winded.
I'll be pleased that it's a fairly warm day. Really hurt on a cold day now. Decent start though, isn't it, for Wycombe?
This is their first ever FA Cup run, the first time past the third round. 10 seasons ago they came into the competition at the first qualifying stage back in mid-September. They'd never beat the team from the top two divisions before this season. Now they've beaten 4. And amongst those watching today, very proud former Wycombe Wanderers manager John Gregory. A lot of people believe that Loris Sanchez has the calibre to follow in the footsteps of Gregory and his predecessor Martin O'Neill, who had another celebration day yesterday up in Glasgow. Not much for Onshow to celebrate at the moment. He's going to have some further attention before resuming.
Treatment will be a bit interesting.
There's any question of Wycombe throwing the ball back to Liverpool here. Townsend towards McCarthy. That was by Carragher. Fowler helping out in defence. And then McAllister with a clever back here on the foul on Fowler by Ben Townsend. Show is back with us. Coopian. I'll be making a run inside of Wycombe, but that's too straight.
Well, one of the front strikers is always dropping out towards the ball, and that's important. Wycombe A, send one in with him, and B, make sure they've got the second striker sealed off.
Seeger does. This is Harman. Stepping away from Brown cleverly. Feeding Gary McAllister. Townsend across. Ball was already outplayed. It's a Wycombe throw. Townsend's header. Harman. Townsend again. Hit against Seeger. It's come for Ryan. Thorpe clear. Fowler controlling. Just run away to Brown and suddenly puts himself about.
Yeah, strong but fair. Two challenges he's made, both been with full body weight, full determination, but nothing untoward about them.
His disciplinary record is a little checkered. He didn't pick up a 4-game ban just for taking his shirt off at Leicester. Barber into the path of Barber. Bates getting to him. And he's been penalised.
Yeah, but just prior to that was a definite foul. I think Bates is a little bit frustrated, but they're trying that a lot. Barmby, who's limping at the moment, is trying to run in. He's had the second whack at him on the floor. Barmby's trying to run off the flank, take Vinicum inside, and Babel is then trying to get round into the empty space.
Something he did very well on this ground for England against Spain at the end of February, Nick Barmby. Barmby and Heskey scored that night. Midway through the first half, in towards Seeger. Taylor punches as far as Michael Owen. Now is he held inside the box? The referee has given it the other way. He's told Owen to get to his feet. Cousins is very unhappy about the way Owen went down. I thought he was held, I have to say.
Oh, I thought that was a stick-on. Penalty. Excellent referee, Paul Durkin. He'll be interested to see with his...
Ooh, maybe not.
Yeah, it looks as if he did some way. Full marks, the referee. Great decision, that. I mean, I actually thought he was well tumbled here.
Vinicum just brushed him, no more.
I didn't think he didn't have time. I mean, but from here he looked a stick on, didn't he? Full marks for Durkin. Great decision.
And you can begin to understand the anger that one or two of the Wycombe defenders, notably this man Cousins, showed towards Owen. Seeger played behind Farrell, and McCarthy's able to intercept, and here's Brown. Now Rammel. Trying to coax into the path of Townsend. Carragher quickly upon him.
Yeah, understandably, young Ben Townsend's a bit nervous at the moment. He's the one that looks a little bit nervous, but, you know, he's only a kid. Sometimes going to appreciate what a massive occasion it is for him.
Dealt very well with Steve Guppy, a former Wycombe player, strangely, in the quarter-final at Leicester. Ryan. Here's Simpson. Away by Hubia. Owen. Linking up with Fowler. Now Barmby. Hardly got in a sharp challenge there. Ryan with a header on. Clash of heads with Carragher. They both felt that. Murphy has been warming up on the near touchline. Ullman. Keeping Liverpool largely at arm's length.
That's the important thing. They've got to get Liverpool. There's so much expectancy on Liverpool. I mean, it's one of those games where everybody in the world, virtually apart from people in Wycombe, expect them to win and win comfortably. But at the moment, full marks, Wycombe have kept them at bay. To let them have the ball there. They don't go ball chasing. That's where they've got to be on. This is where they've got to be on the toes now.
Marble caught in possession by Winnicombe though, and Fowler had a little nibble at Brown after the ball had gone, and one or two scores starting to tot up. Simpson, who won the free kick from Harman, but both Fowler and Harman with second division tackles, I think. To make them feel at home.
You wouldn't really think that tackling isn't one of Harman's biggest virtues, is it?
Steady rain falling in the West Midlands. Rammel with a header. Swept away by Moncher. Bates. Bubble with a header. Comes to down a foul. Run into the path of Simpson here. Now McCarthy. Harman forward. Owen standing in offside was when the pass was played. Alistair sticking up himself in midfield. Seeger to Harman now. Carragher coming forward. Ryan trying to get back there with him. Did well, Keith Ryan. Run off Owen to now Danny Bowman. Michael Simpson. Both Ryan and Rammel are forward. Simpson to Bowman. Bit of matador passing from Wycombe, much to the delight of their supporters, but it's been broken up now. Barney into Ziga. Good challenge by Cousins. Brown.
That's always an outball for them, by the way. I think Ben Townsend wants to join in. I actually think that might be a problem for Wycombe. You know, if they start to enjoy the game too much, what they've got to do is stick to the game plan, and that is frustrating and annoying. Don't try and take Liverpool on in a football match. They'll get beat comfortably. Make life difficult all the while.
Think to bring it back, did you? His wife will be furious when he gets live on television. And Steve Brown has thrown himself about one too many times for the liking of Paul Durkin. Portion of the afternoon. Brown has only played one game in nearly a month because of that 4-match suspension that he picked up on the back of the quarter-final. He's going to see yellow again. Lovely story about him in the build-up to the game. He's actually the proud possessor of a winner's medal in the FA Sunday Cup. He played for his team in the Northampton area before turning professional. Bobby Robson, who presented the trophies that day, made him man of the match, and it was Bobby who said, "Hey, you're good enough to be a pro, son." I don't think anybody's won the FA Sunday Cup and then gone on to win the FA Challenge Cup. Winnicombe. Here is Brown.
Just hope that booking doesn't take too much away from his play, because he has been very, very effective.
Ziga. Loose ball from Christian Ziga, rather sloppy.
I think that's something Winnicombe's got to do. You know, it's going to be hard for him. Let's see this one through. It's going to be hard for him tonight. But I think sometimes when Barmby makes that diving run off the flank, he's got to try and alert one of his centre-backs to take him off him as a mark and stay in his position. I think that's so important that Wycombe keep their defensive shape. If they start to get pulled all over the place, they'll have problems. But at the moment, apart from those 2 or 3 early flutters, they're doing all right.
The best part of half an hour play. Arsenal already through to the FA Cup final in Cardiff. Ziga had come infield, Fowler had pulled wide. Stop Fowler. Given away by McCarthy.
That's good. If they can get Liverpool to hit high balls into the heart of the defence, they should always be favourite with it. What they don't want is and being able to play through balls.
Barbie allowed to turn. Owen. Buffeted though by Bates. Brown. Buffeted by Owen.
That's where all the skirmishes are, isn't it, Brown? He's enjoying it.
Everywhere, that fella. The Wycombe fans are kitted out for the day, that's for sure. Free kick, Kevin, against Barber, leading on Ramble.
Now this is where you feel they have their chances. Set plays, corners, free kicks in the last third, throw-ins. This is where they're going to try and load the brigade in.
From the Vesterveld has both Jamie Bates and Paul McCarthy to worry about. In fact, Jason Cousins, all three central defenders were in there, along with Ramel and Ryan, the two forwards. Simpson to take. And there's a free there from Ryan, and that was awkward for Vesterveld.
And that was almost a carbon copy of the manager's goal against Liverpool. But this is where they've got to be careful now. Oh, I thought he was going to overslide then, Brown.
Brown at least put McAllister under pressure, prevented him from developing the break.
Tell you what, that was a very, very dangerous free kick. Fast whipper, his body's getting across the line of the keeper. Vesterveld will have he won't be able to see what's happening here. See Ryan's touch, and it's fortunate, he's just gone straight down the straight for here.
Barmby, in towards Owen, great chance from Michael Owen, great save too by Martin Taylor. Really wonderful stop by the Wycombe Wanderers goalkeeper, preventing Michael Owen from giving Liverpool the lead. Best chance of the night so far. Taylor's long clearance towards Ramel.
One of the few occasions when Liverpool have been able to catch Wycombe on the stretch. Defenders not in position. 4 marks for Martin Taylor. What a great save that was.
Well, he made a crucial stop at Leicester in the quarter-final just after the Premiership team had equalised. He denied Akinbaye there, and in the 5th round of the FA Cup, he saved a penalty from Neil Ardley at Selhurst Park against Wimbledon, which took the game into the shootout, and then not only saved a penalty in the shootout, he scored one too. He really has been one of Wycombe's FA Cup heroes this season, the goalkeeper. And he distinguished himself again there when Michael Owen had a clear side of goal. Vesterveld, who himself did well at the other end just before, finds Carragher. Perpian. Barmby, who set the chance up throwing. Well tackled there by Ramel. Fowler. Now Farber. Barmby's made a good run. Offside. Terrific stop, wasn't it, Rob?
It was brilliant because it was incisive, some good work by Barmby. Played it right into his run. You think this is Tranmere all over. He takes it well. No problems with his control. And the keeper, for a second occasion, denied Owen by being alert, brave and smart. Deserves some luck. You know, we remember a few years ago seeing him play at Derby break his leg.
It was a terrible fracture that he suffered back in 1994. He was not only out of the game for 2 years, there was some question initially as to whether they might have to amputate the leg. It wasn't just his career that was in doubt, Martin Taylor. It was his future mobility, but it took him a couple of years to recover. He had something like 10 operations. He still has a special support in one of his boots as a souvenir of that injury. How his career has come to life again in the last 6 months or so.
By the way, this is a competition that throws up goalkeeping heroes, isn't it? Oh, that's lovely football from Simpson.
Coleman. Now Townsend. Cousins. Townsend. it. They've certainly had the better chances, but they have nothing to show for it. Townsend throw. Headed away by Carrigan. Seized upon by Jason Cousins. Crossed in towards Brown. See if he can get a little nudge from Barber. Might come for Vinnicum. Volley 2 hit. Vinnicum knocked forward by Bowman to hit Barber, who's going to be charging out.
Be interested to see what the outcome of that would have been, you know, because he caught that rim. He didn't half crack it, and he knows it.
It's Chris Vinnicum's wrong foot, but it was a lovely clean hit.
I think if it hadn't been blocked down, we might have been talking about a sensational goal then.
Fowler into the path of Barber, you just couldn't quite gather it. Here is Vinnicum. Now Simpson. Pretty careful with obviously had Vinnicum and Ryan making runs beyond him. Fowler with a sharp turn. Steered into the path of Nick Barber, can't quite catch up.
That highlighted just a little problem there when Fowler drops off. I think Liverpool are more effective when Fowler drops off into the hole and leave Owen up the field.
50 games down already, maybe another dozen to come. This time last season, Liverpool had played 14 fewer matches, no Europe. They were out of both cups. They were about to tumble out of the top 3. He has huffed and puffed over some of their commitments in recent weeks, Gerard Houllier, but these are wonderful problems for a club to have. Coleman. Rammel trying to cause some problems for Liverpool, but he is offside.
Good vision there once again from young Simpson there in midfield. The first time ball and the line has got just about.
We'll be reviewing the action from Old Trafford during our half-time sequence here at Villa Park. The story of how Arsenal won the first semi-final of the day. Losing out to Ziga, but Taylor in control of the situation. Will be a heading ball against Ryan. It bounced rather kindly, that from Carragher. McAllister. Cousins to Townsend. Offside flag. Just over a week to the next big football occasion on ITV. It's Tuesday week. Extensive highlights of Arsenal in Valencia and Leeds in La Coruña. And then the following night, live, 18th of April, Manchester United go to Munich. That match live and exclusive on ITV. By Jamie Bates.
Outstrengthened him, that was good. Took it clean and he's setting it up on the charge here. Just wonder if Gerard Houllier will be happy enough with what he's got from the left-hand side of his team.
There is Ziga. He's given a bit of a rap across the knuckles by his manager, Christian Ziga. Some remarks he's reportedly made during his spell away with the German international squad on World Cup duty, bemoaning his lack of opportunities at club level.
What seems to happen on that side, more, they seem to be stopping a little bit. I mean, Ziga hasn't carried the fight much on that side, and Carragher's more comfortable sitting in with somebody ahead of him. And I just wonder at half-time whether he sort of look and say, well, could somebody like Berger or even Heskey on that side be more penetrative?
Here is Ziga. Harman to Fowler. McAllister making some ground down that left-hand side. Liverpool have 4 in the box. Cousins making it difficult for McAllister. Now Harman. Into Ziga. Held up by Bates. Cleared by Cousins.
So important for Wycombe now to see it through to half-time.
Hopia to Ziga. Unable to thread the ball beyond Wycombe here. Danny Bullman. Chris Wycombe. One of the key point of choice.
Good ball, and a worker. It's a worker. It's given the defender some problems, which he hasn't dealt with very comprehensively.
Also only to Bullman. Crossed in towards Andy Rammell. He's always curling away from Wycombe's top scorer.
Good build-up, good movement.
Run opened things up for him. Bates following the challenge, headed away by Cousins, who was caught late. It's Simpson down on the edge of the penalty area. He's okay. Simpson to Rammell. Heavy touch. McAllister. The usual precision one expects from Gary McAllister. Brown trying to get it through to Rammell. Liverpool have obviously had more of the ball. Barber. Let it run. Bates wasn't letting Barby go anywhere.
Done ever so well, Bates. Dived in, seen a lot of things off. Spare defender.
Simpson. In towards Ryan. Hope he just managed to get to it, but he got between defenders. Liverpool a little stretch momentarily.
Yeah, the bad defensive shape there. Ryan was in a great position. Good ball by Simpson. Unfortunately for Wycombe, he couldn't quite deal with it.
Closing moments of the first half in which Wycombe have done their best to hold their own. Michael Owen here has had the best chance and forced the best save from Martin Taylor. But those Liverpool moments have been relatively few and far between. Their pressure has been fitful. And Laurie Sanchez, the very epitome of FA Cup giant, killing one of those men whom this competition has immortalised, like Ronnie Radford and Ian Porterfield, using his head to good effect in the competition again. It's a very compelling and impressive man to be around. Foul by Rammell on Barmby.
As you said, there were some early flutters in the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then the chance Owen nearly made when Taylor made the great save. But apart from that, they've been very comfortable. The 3 central defenders have been very strong, seeing off the danger quite well.
Ziga. McAllister. Going in towards Fowler. Still runners from Carragher, but which is now picking up a little bit of pace in the grassier areas. Jason Cousins is sharing a joke with the referee. He's currently training to be a taxi driver. He's apparently doing the knowledge. Jason Cousins is preparing for a career beyond FA Cup semi-finals and the like. Gives you a little bit of perspective. I thought that Michael Owen or Robbie Fowler would be opening a taxi company in Bootle in the foreseeable future. Just a nick there, which will need some attention at half-time for Sammy Hoopier. Rammell seeming to use his arm. Brown, stroke forward towards Simpson. An extra 2 minutes to play.
It's 2 minutes where Wycombe do not want to show too much ambition.
It's a little bit like playing for the close of play now, isn't it? They don't want to have to bring a night watchman in at this stage. Ball by Hoopier, though, in towards Farnby. Away by Cousins. Increasingly assured in defence. Wycombe. Coleman forward towards Ryan. He's posed very much threat to Sander Festival, that's for sure. Farnby. Fowler. Oh, terrific control from Robbie Fowler. Held back by Michael Simpson. Was a foul. No doubt about it. Paul Durkin's a good talker to players. I think he has as good a relationship with the players at the highest level of the game as any of the officials.
They know they don't feel threatened with him. They know that if they get in the book, they, by and large, they deserve to go.
Armand takes in towards Hoopier, who did well under pressure. Fabulous effort. And it just bounced past the left-hand post of a helpless Martin Taylor.
That's one of the few occasions Liverpool have been able to load the big defenders upfield. Good header, keeps in the box, and I must admit, I thought that was him. I thought Ziege had netted there.
Certainly didn't miss by much. Not even Taylor would have been able to keep that one out.
But I think that's one of the things Wycombe have done well. They haven't conceded a lot of corners and free kicks in the danger zone.
And the Wycombe Wanderers' dream is alive and well. Liverpool have probed and searched. They've broken through on one or two occasions, but it's been no more than one or two occasions. Laurie Sanchez's team have held firm. Michael Owen has had the clearest sight of goal. But improbably, at half-time in this AXA-sponsored FA Cup semi-final at Villa Park, it is Wycombe Wanderers 0, Liverpool 0.